And also I think sometimes we think of these things as separate symptoms.
Yeah.
But when you take them together, it's all perimenopause.
I mean, I'm in post, so I can talk all kinds of
You
things.
might come up while we're talking.
Yep.
Well, I'm kind of past it.
Yeah.
Yes, me too.
I think I'm in
Well,
the
not past it,
transition
but
at the
yeah.
moment.
Well, I'm a lot older than you two.
Not a lot.
Well, enough.
But postmenopause, one of the things they said was postmenopause is actually the rest of your life.
Yeah.
So that's something that really stuck with me from the conference.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, okay, let me think about this differently then.
Yeah.
What do I want the rest of my life to look like in
Yep.
terms of my mind, body, and spirit?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And so that was definitely.
Yeah, I hadn't thought of it like that either. I just thought it was like a, you're done. Okay.
Yeah,
And then
you're-
it's, wait a minute, I'm living a
course
third,
you're not done.
2/3 of my
Yeah.
life in this phase.
Uh-huh.
And what does that mean for other overall health things?
Well, you know, the good thing about that, I think, you know, there's a good thing to
Yep.
everything, is that it keeps us reminded that has to go, because we have to teach the younger ones.
Right.
Yes.
Exactly.
We have to, and when we forget about it, sometimes we forget to mention it.
Yeah.
to them.
Yeah.
And they need to know.
Yeah.
You know,
Absolutely.
well, and they kind of do that now. People
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
don't.
Yeah.
It's not that they won't talk, it's just that they don't talk. And so I just kind of, I don't know.
I think now also there's so much like information out there now, especially on social media.
Yes.
And that some people have been kind of like it's overwhelming.
Yeah.
Also.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I don't want anyone. You were speaking about the younger people. I don't want anyone to go through what I went through.
Right.
For 10 years. Like that
Right.
was like a long time.
Well,
And I definitely, so I want access to information
Yep.
and access to community to
Yes.
up through that, right?
and you know, and everybody's different. Everybody goes through it differently.
Yes.
And that's real.
Right. Oh, yeah.
And when I went through what I was going through, you talking about, I was having the most horrible time, and on medication.
Yeah.
But I didn't know that.
Mm.
And so I thought, oh, I'm not doing, forget this. I'm not doing this medication no more.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like maybe a month later, I hardly had any issues anymore.
Oh.
I'm like, oh boy, that medication was killing me.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes I think they lump us all together.
Yes.
Oh, this is where you are, so you take this.
Yeah. Yep.
And so it makes us act out.
Mm-hmm.
It makes us all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And so, you know, I now when I talk to the younger girls, well, I talk to them at our church all the time. I tell them, feel yourself.
Yeah.
Feel what you feel. It's not always about what somebody tells you it is.
Right. Right.
Because menopause shows up all kind of different ways.
So I'd like to take a pause real quick
Yeah.
and introduce yourselves to.
No, we did not.
Yeah.
No, but I like that. I mean, it doesn't have to be scripted, and I think in life we just need to just sometimes go with the freaking flow.
Mm-hmm.
And that was a flow, and I liked it. So I'm glad to have you all here, randomly or not. I mean, there's never a mistake. You know
No,
what I'm saying?
no.
Yep.
So please introduce yourself.
Sure. Hi, everybody. Robin Austin. I am an associate professor at the School of Nursing at the University of Minnesota. And my area of research or clinical interest is midlife women and menopause, perimenopause. And we've met through community. And so I'm super happy to be here and share what I know and what I've been doing.
Awesome. I'm Faith Dietz. I am a community member and I am in postmenopause, which we talked a little bit about that. That's like the rest of your life after you've gone through this transition of peri and menopause and then postmenopause. I am on the postmenopause side and I'm just ready to share information and support people going through this.
And I am Jeannie Johnson, and I am from the community, and I too am postmenopause. I just like really working with the younger women. I am a retired St. Paul, well, Minneapolis first, public school person. And since I've been retired now, I'm retired a second time from St. Paul public schools. And so, and my joy is working with young women. And they do a lot of that in our church.
So thank you. This episode of Just Say It, I really have it because in my community, I didn't know anything about menopause. And I just knew I forgot things, and I just knew that my friends were telling me that they're going through things. And so I just wanted to have people that have wisdom in our community. That's been one of the things that's been always important. We talk about our grandmothers and our ancestors and things like that. And for me, that still stands very strong. And so I need people that have wisdom to help my friends who we're 50 or heading to 50, who've never had it, and we need to figure something out. So I'm going to get some fans and some water, and we are going to have a conversation about menopause. And it was free flowing at first. And I really liked that conversation. But let me just tell you, first of all, we have not defined it in our community, my friends. We don't know if we're in peri, present, post, all those things. So, Dr. Robin, can you please tell us what the difference is between perimenopause and menopause?
So perimenopause is the years prior to actual menopause. And menopause is defined as 12 months of not having a period. So it's kind of diagnosed or defined retrospectively, looking back, that you haven't had a period for 12 months-ish. That's like on average how they define it. And perimenopause is then the months and years previous to that, where you have lots of fluctuations in your hormones. You may have signs and symptoms, you may not. It just depends, and everybody is so different. It could be just sleep, it could be hot flashes, it could be muscle aches and pains, it could be mood changes, lots of different things. And everybody, again, is so different. Some could have it for a year or two, some could have it for 10 years. And it really, really depends. So that definition is really, the technical definition is 12 months of not having a period, consecutive period. Then you're kind of said you're in postmenopause or menopause/postmenopause then. And then that's why we say postmenopause after they say you've been through menopause, that's the rest of your lifespan. So you then, maybe you go through menopause, early 50s, 51, 52, which is average for US. And then you live in that state until your 80s, whatever it is. So that could be a third, 2/3 of your life that you are then considered post-menopause. And that's kind of the definitions that they typically go by. But again, it could vary because someone could be on birth control and not know that maybe they're already not getting a period. And so there's other things that you can work with your provider, healthcare provider, a physician, nurse practitioner, whatever whatever you are seeing, to really define that for you individually.
Faith, where are you in this perimenopause, menopause conversation? Because as a customer of Lip Esteem and a friend, you were like, I'll talk to you anytime. So what made you say that? Where is your expertise? What do you know? Tell us what you know.
Yeah, so my expertise is really my own story. So when I was in perimenopause, I didn't know it was perimenopause. I was having I was forgetting things. I was just not feeling myself. And I knew I wasn't sick, but things were changing. And I was like, oh, I wonder if I'm perimenopausal, because I read some things about that, right? And I went to a doctor and said, I think I'm in perimenopause. And they said, there's no such thing. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to save your day.
Yeah.
Let's be real. Yeah. But I have done so much deep diving into it that I'm like, here's some, what do you want?
Yeah.
Like I can ask the question, what do you want? I don't have the expertise, but I know I can maybe you should try this.
First, when does it start? And then when did it start, or when did you all notice some things changing in you?
Probably looking back, it was probably in my early 40s, because I started having, my cycles were getting a little bit more irregular. I thought it was just, my kids were younger at the time. I thought it was stress. I was working, lots of things. You're just busy in that stage. And so I just didn't really think much of it until like then the hot flashes started, and I was like, oh, that's not that, maybe that's what that is. So what kind of went me down this path is just my personal experience, and I was like, what is happening? What is the information about? Like, you kind of start going and digging, and I was looking for more research on it, on the topic, and there was such a gap, like a vast void of good information. And I was like, well, this is wrong. And then I started getting upset and annoyed and angry, and my husband's like, well, you can probably do something about that. And I was like, oh, like it didn't hit me that I could actually start to look into this myself as well. So then it felt more empowering, because he said you look at information, try to figure it out. But I would say early 40s, mid 40s is pretty typical. But for me, that's when it started.
I want to ask a question because I feel like I'm having a brain fog moment at this time. Were you able to introduce yourself?
I was. Yes.
Okay,
Yes, you
that
did.
is amazing. I love that. Okay, let's keep going. How old were you?
Me,
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. We can come back to me.
actually, that's me. Okay, I was scared.
We just no. Okay, let's
So,
pick up here. So we got to turn it off.
You turn it off?
Yeah, we can pick. I can edit that out.
Well, go ahead then. Go ahead.
Call back. Call back. We still got to
Let me
turn it
turn it off.
Okay.
We're not in a rush. Okay. And anybody want water?
No.
I have some.
So,
Thank you.
So after I told you ladies, I did good. I was having a flash when I was telling you. I'm like, what?
You know that's why I got the fan and the water, and
Because you saw me sweating.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and I knew it.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate you.
Thank you. I appreciate you too.
So I can talk to them and talk to them. This is awful because my message on my phone says, hang up and call me back because I'm digging around looking for my phone.
That's great.
So there you go. There you go.
There we go.
You just said that too. They're gonna call back.
What are Dr. Rob? How would you like me to
You can just call me Robin.
Robin? Okay. So nice for you to be here.
Oh, I'm super, and this is awesome. This is great.
And this is so random, you all, in a way that all of you are here, and that's what the beautiful part about community is for me, and me having this window seat because I can see community, and that's what it's about.
Yep.
What are common symptoms?
Yes, good question.
Because my friends, I put a Facebook post up,
Yep.
and everybody was having things to say, and there's a word like Vera.
Vasomotor?
I think so.
Yeah.
What is that?
It's hot flashes. Vasomotor symptoms is like the technical term for hot flashes.
What does that look like? And how long can you get rid of it?
So, well, they have hormonal ways you can get rid of them if you so choose to do that path, or non-hormonal kind of medications if you want to do that as well, if that's of interest.
Okay.
They've also shown that cognitive behavior therapy could work. Or I know that they've done a lot of studies and research on acupuncture and hot flashes, if you're interested in integrative therapies or non-pharmaceutical kind of approaches. It runs the gamut. I think there was one count I did, there were like over 30 symptoms when you start to like count them up. So hot flashes, brain fog, sleep disturbances, mood changes, depression, anxiety are much, much higher reportedly around midlife women, around perimenopause, which is very true. Let's see, what else could bone aches or joint muscle aches and pains.
Okay.
There's also an increased rise of women midlife having more, chronic pain or episodes or kind of exacerbations of pain conditions. If you have fibromyalgia or rheumatoid potentially. There's been lately too more diagnosing of like ADHD in midlife women just because of hormonal changes could be around that as well. So lots of things. And also I think sometimes we think of these things as separate symptoms. Yeah. But when you take them together, it's all perimenopause. But a lot of times if you go to a provider, it's, you're going in for one clinic visit, which is 12 minutes or 15, whatever you get with your provider. Mm-hmm. And so you're saying, I have issues sleeping. Yeah. And then the next time you go in, well, I have some aches and pains. Yeah. And the next time you go in, you may have mood changes or sleep disturbances or whatever, but they're all different, but not necessarily connecting them together, that it's clusters, it's the pattern of symptoms that are really helping to define you're in perimenopause. So my advice, and what we'd say probably to women, if you are experiencing these things, start writing them down. And I think having that information for yourself, that one day it could be you're really moody, and I had my days I called do not drive days, because it was, I was just not, like, cognitively I was not there. I was just not angry or upset, whatever it is. I should not be driving. I'm just going to stay home if you have that ability. But but then it was sleep changes and then hot flashes, I think but taken together, I was like, I need to go in and see someone. I think we can do something about this, or I just need other options.
Yeah,
so if that helps.
Yes. So this is good. This is good for me. Even at my age, and I'll tell you why. Is when I'm hearing you say that, I'm saying, wow, I think I have all that still at this age.
Yeah.
And I don't have mood swings.
Yep.
Which I'm really glad. Because I have 3 sons, and those moods can be. But anyway, but all of that. I mean, and I'm thinking, hey, so thank you for that.
Yeah.
Because I just learned something.
Good.
And you think you know something, and you find out you don't know as much about it as you think you do. But when I started, I didn't experience any of that because I was thrown into it by having a hysterectomy.
Oh, sure. Yes. Yes. And that was something else I meant. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Yes.
Let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Yeah.
Yep. Because
Yeah.
there's the natural menopause, which is what you experience perimenopause and all of those, and that's kind of a natural. But if you have a hysterectomy, you are immediately put into menopause.
Immediately.
Immediately.
Yes.
And so that's something that they may not prepare women who are having a hysterectomy for whatever reason. Maybe it's fibroids, maybe it's cancers, whatever the reason may be. But just mentally be preparing yourself that that's what's going to be happening.
But I had no idea.
Right.
And nor did anyone tell me that this was going to happen.
Is menopause and perimenopause, is it a secret? I mean, because it seems like in the community, none of my friends, well, we're more vocal, but nobody prepared us. We talk about dating, we talk about jobs, we talk about all these things, but not what our body functions are. So culturally, I know you do research. I don't know if you did research between cultures, but have you, and is there a difference?
I just talked to a colleague of mine who is at the University of Iowa, and she does a lot of research in the Latino population. And she said it is different. There are differences. But I think just in general, in my experience too, is that as a group, we don't necessarily talk about it. In my mind too, I was thinking menopause, that's later. And then all of a sudden it was not so later. And then I started talking to my mom about it, and she's 84. And she's like, well, we just didn't talk about it. There was no conversation. My mother didn't talk to me about it. My friends, we didn't necessarily talk about it. And so she's like, what you guys are experiencing, how you are as a community speaking about it now is very different than what I experienced. And so she said, talk about it, share it, discuss it, because it is something we're all going through, and it is something that we can share, and maybe there's resources that help you that I have and vice versa. But I think too, having a shared community experience, just knowing that someone else is out there helps me, that someone else is experiencing it. So I would say too that there are differences that they found. For example, osteoporosis is maybe higher in Asian populations and Caucasian populations. Hot flashes may be more severe in African American populations. And that's just generalizing, but that's what they've started to find, that there are differences around some of the symptoms in different groups of people as well.
Yeah. So definitely in the African.
Faith about, because you wanted to talk about the hysterectomy.
Yeah.
Yes.
Talk to us about it.
Well, so I have not had a hysterectomy.
Okay.
But I do know, because I have had friends who've had a hysterectomy, and yes, they were immediately thrown into menopause, and no one told them how to navigate that change and what's going to happen. Yeah. Even as recently as 10 or 15 years ago, right? So one of the things I also want to touch on is that the education that medical professionals receive just on women's health in general is very low. Now, of course, people are trying to change that.
Mm-hmm.
And colleges and universities are trying to change that. And there are various medical professionals working on changing that through like trainings and webinars and different curriculum and changing curriculum.
Yeah.
But I mean, my OBGYN was like, I mean, vastly, like OBGYNs are given information about how to make sure women are producing babies.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's like the most general way I can say it as like I'm a non-medical professional, but that's basically my view of it.
Okay.
Right? They're not given the whole like how
The whole health of a woman.
the whole health of
Gotcha.
a woman or a whole health of someone with a uterus, right? There is
Yes.
nothing.
Yes.
Nothing.
Okay.
Not that whole and
It's
there
a focused career
Yep.
path. It's not
Yep.
wholeness.
right.
Okay.
And I want to go back to like African American women definitely have there's definitely differences there, and like I'm a clear example. 10 years. It took 10 years
Mm-hmm.
10
for
years
me.
to what?
for me to go through my menopause journey, so to speak, in terms of the changes. I will always be in postmenopause, but in terms of the symptoms and getting through the change, the multiple changes,
Yeah.
it took 10 years. And that's what researchers are now putting out there, is that, hey, there are these differences,
Yep.
and we need to discuss that as well. Like African American women, Black women may not have the same symptoms
Okay.
as other cultures,
Okay.
right? And how
Awesome.
does, so that's why I go back to like every person is different, and
Yep.
you have
Yep.
to, what kind of life are you trying to lead?
Yep.
And how can different things help you in
Help you.
that, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be one doctor
Right.
either.
Mm.
So I talk to a nutritionist. I
Mhm.
talk to
Mhm.
a doctor. I have therapy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like mental health.
yeah.
So
Yes.
it's got to be holistic for me.
Yep.
So
Yep.
yeah.
Yes.
And so that was my next question. Because now the food does play a huge part in it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Okay.
So like, a lot of times they talk about how if you have, kind of chronic or systemic inflammation, so you can eat better, proper foods, whole foods with good nutrition to help kind of decrease your internal inflammation, which can also help you feel a little bit better, achy joints, I think just mentally, I think inflammation is a big component of that, cardiovascular health, brain health, like longevity, thinking of like our health span. I always think of things as we want to live healthier longer. And so how do we set ourselves up for that as best we can during midlife? Just because the other thing to touch on around menopause is that not only are you hormonally going through changes, but the bone loss women experience through menopause. You could lose up to 10 to 20% of your bone density, bone loss. So osteoporosis is a huge risk factor for women after you kind of go through the menopause transition. In addition to which, I also didn't realize is that you can have bone loss, meaning how dense your bones are, but then you also can have muscle loss, muscle mass. And muscle is our major metabolizer in our bodies. And so when we also have bone loss and muscle loss, I think you have impacts around your overall metabolism, but then also I think of your ability to be functional and moving and be independent. So I think bone loss and muscle loss are two things that they don't necessarily also talk about very much in the whole picture of perimenopause, menopause.
So let's make it simple.
Yeah.
What exercises can we do to
Yes.
build? Because I know a lot of
Yep.
people walk.
Yep.
But when I had my meniscus tear,
Yeah.
they told me that it's not about just walking, it's about building up
Yes.
the bone. So talk to me about what we can do.
Yep. So both, I think cardiovascular health you always have to maintain because our heart disease is so prevalent in women as we age as well. So cardiovascular health, exercise, yes. So walking, brisk walking, riding a bike, swimming, things like that. But the other thing that we always kind of, I think not always given a lot of attention to for women is weight training or strength training. That's where you have to really make sure you're building your muscles and maintaining that bone strength. Or bone density as much as we possibly can as we age. So those are also things that are coming much, much more in the media. I would say around maintaining health and around that lifespan or I would say health span of your making sure you can be as mobile and independent as long as possible. And that's that strength training and resistance training for sure.
I'm going to ask another question and then I'm going to step out and let you all just like give each other the space to flow like we were earlier when it wasn't filming. It was so good. But my question is, how can our families help support us? Well, first of all, they don't even know what's wrong with us.
Right.
Yep.
But once they figure it out, because they're going to watch this, they're going to watch Just Say It with Tamika Jones and friends, and they're going to learn that it's probably the pauses. But really, like, when it comes to our spouses, how can they support? And our families, because a lot of daughters and children are looking at their mothers like, who are you?
Yeah.
I think they're learning, feel like they're learning someone
Yeah.
again. But go ahead, jump in.
Yeah.
Just I know this is all about women, but I was gonna say, do men go into menopause? Because they get kind of crazy around their time too. So,
I would say that there are fluctuations in testosterone as well. So there are.
Okay,
It
so
is.
and
Yes.
the reason I'm asking that is because they can make you crazier.
Yeah.
And
It adds to the
I know, that's why we go on cruises, honey. That's why we go on cruises. That's it. That's all.
Okay.
But you know, I have boys.
Yes.
And so I want to know. I want to know.
They can. I think that there are some midlife changes that happen to men as well, for sure. But I think it's just,
But it's not a menopause thing, right? It's kind of, it's a menopause.
they need to take a
Yeah.
pause. No, I'm just kidding. And again, it just depends. I think for men's, I think their health can change midlife as well. What used to work when they were younger no longer works. Same thing with women. But it just kind of depends. Yeah.
Because and another reason I say it, because I think we have to also work at keeping ourselves at a certain, you know, when something's going on, we got to tell ourselves, you know, woosah,
Yeah.
you know, calm down. Because I think we can make things worse by the way we react to what we're feeling too. I do believe. Am I wrong?
No, I think that it can.
Doctor?
You get yourself, definitely more worked up because you're already hormones are and emotions are high, right? Especially during this time. And I think at this, even in midlife too, there's just a lot of pressure. Not only that, I think of ourselves in kind of the sandwich generation. I had young kids. I was also caring for my dad when he was really, really sick. So you're really in that sandwich generation. And just a lot of pressures, if career-wise, family-wise, lots of things going on. Trying to keep it all together, it's a lot. It's just, in addition to having hormonal changes and not really knowing what's happening, why am I feeling this way? It's a lot, definitely a lot. But give ourselves a little bit of grace. Yeah.
I think we have the power right now. It's like it's so great to see younger generations just go, we're not doing that anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about stuff. We're going to we're going to get this out here. We're going to ask questions and do what we need to do. And just supporting each other in that, because I think, but it is kind of still harder because it's like, well, we still have a lot of information on social media, but what about everybody else who's not on social media? Or how are we, like you were saying, you talk to people in your church, and that's amazing. Because I mean, when I was growing up, we didn't talk about, people didn't talk about those things in church. What's going on? Yeah, I mean, in terms of the question that she asked, though, how can people support women or people with uteruses in menopause going through this? Really, it needs to be let's ask questions. You're feeling this. What are you feeling? How can I support you? And sometimes you don't know. You're like, oh, I'm just having a hot flash. I need a cool, and encouraging people to say what they need.
Yes.
I need a cool washcloth. Can you get me a cool washcloth? And educating, just with any caregiver. Yeah. Supporting caregivers with information and how you can support this person, and how do you ask those questions, because we've kind of lost the ability to be curious. I think some people do curiosity super, super well, and there's all kinds of people out there that can do that. How do we become curious and say, what are you feeling? What support do you need? And sometimes helping people work through what support they might need, because when I was growing up, it was like, you're on like independence, like do your thing, suck it up, buttercup, like all
Totally.
the kinds
Yep.
of things, and like, no, let's stop that. Like,
Yeah.
we are all connected, and let's talk about it, and let's support each other in these changes, because it's not, it can be really, really hard, and if people don't have the support systems already, it's like it's rough.
And when we have mixed groups, like younger women, a lot of times I've found that the elderly women kind of want to hush you up and change it to something else, because they're still of the mindset we don't talk about that.
Yeah. Yep.
We don't talk about. So, how do you talk about it respectfully with them? But because just to tell a senior woman, I'm going to talk about it anyway. We're not going to say those words. But,
Right.
But no, we need to talk about this.
Yeah.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
Respectfully. That's important, I think.
I think so too. And to get them to open up, because they grew up in a time period where you couldn't talk about it, or you just didn't. And so it's approached it like, hey, I'm experiencing this. Did you do that too? And kind of using it from like with my mom, I've said more of a lived experience of like, I'm having this. Did you do that as well? Or around what time? Or how old were you? Or just kind of simple, just like opening a door, just a teeny bit, and then you can leave it be, and then you come back another time, maybe open the door a little bit more. And it's just, it's like you said, it's a slow getting others to warm up to it when they've never had an opportunity to even do that to begin with, I think can be a little bit scary. And so knowing that, but finding other ways to ask about their experiences in a not I don't want to say indirect, where you're not being passive aggressive or anything, but it's more just what do you think? What did you experience? Kind of versus I'm having this, I'm having a, I don't know. It would be a way. But the other thing I was thinking about as well is in our teaching younger girls, it feels like when you're thinking about OBGYNs or healthcare providers, it's either adolescence or pregnancy postpartum. Those are the two main things that we think about versus, like you said, the lifespan of a woman or someone with a uterus. So how can we even get some of this education into our health education classes that we have for during middle school or high school, that it just as a part of someone's lifespan, that can be expected. Whether they listen or not, I don't know, is a different story, but at least it could be planting the seeds for that conversation as well. Would be another way to maybe approach it at some point. I think. Yeah. It doesn't hurt. They're my daughter's in high school, so I'm like, well, you got to know what's happening.
Yeah, and I mean, our kids, we have two girls, and they're just like, don't talk to me about this.
I know.
But they're curious.
Yep.
I mean, they are curious. I can tell they're kind of like, oh, okay, like at some point I might need this information. So
yeah. You said about information, though, it does make me worry because there's so much on social media and the and disinformation out there. And I feel like sometimes because it's getting much more broader in the social media world, is it becoming menopause and perimenopause are now becoming like marketing tools for supplements? I mean, people are, I've been in that space where I'm desperate and I just, this sounds like it works good. Look at how many Instagram followers they have. Maybe I'll try that too. And so what do you, how do you navigate those pieces around misinformation, disinformation, and having a healthcare provider, but you may need several healthcare providers, or if one of you're not getting, it's okay to switch healthcare providers. I think that's the other message I want to get across as well. If you're not getting answers, you can get a second opinion. But I think it's these conversations where it can be super helpful around, hey, I heard this. Is this right or wrong? Is this a quick fix, a kind of a hack around get better kind of idea around perimenopause? So I think it's a tool for like the community discussions, but also making sure that you're getting good answers from your healthcare providers. Yeah.
Anyone want to add anything else? I feel like have you ever had deja vu?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm having a deja vu moment right now.
That's so great. I like it. But I'm here.
Maybe it's not so great one. I don't know.
I don't know what's happening. Am I here? Am I there? I don't know where I am. And I'm really
That's
thankful
okay.
that you all are here.
Yeah.
And if there, like, these conversations need to be had.
Yep.
Yes,
And they need
absolutely.
to be had with people of all different ages
Absolutely.
and backgrounds.
Absolutely.
And I appreciate you all for taking the time out to be here. I mean, this is amazing. Lip Esteem is just that. It's not just about lipstick. It's also about the whole person and figuring out what we need in community to be able to be together and to help each other and support each other. And I don't even feel like I'm here right now. I feel like I'm lifted, like I'm on another planet. But I think it's because the dreams and the visions that I've had for community and for people to be together, all races, all sizes, all ages, is like really just showing itself up right now in this space.
That was your mission.
Yep.
That's what you've always wanted to do.
I've
So,
always wanted to do
yeah.
that. It brings
Yeah.
So great.
conversations of wisdom and knowledge and help each other, you know?
Yeah.
Each other.
I feel like you have something.
Else that you can meet?
Yes, say it. Whatever you want to talk about.
No, I'm a very spiritual person, so I just feel like this is just, it was God orchestrated. It was God orchestrated today. It was orchestrated for me to come here, get up out of your bed, and go get lips. I mean, that literally, and now look at us.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful. I mean, I've added, I think I
Yeah.
did. But what's more, I've received.
Oh.
I
And
love
I
that.
really do appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if anyone else wants to add anything else. I mean, because we could talk. I really feel like I'm
Yeah.
So.
Did you have any additional questions that you really want? Yeah.
Um,
There's like one last question.
I mean, honestly, you tell us what you think that we need to know as women that are navigating either going into this or how we can, what tools we can use to, be in our best minds when it is time that everything is changing right now.
I would say no question is too small, and don't dismiss yourself, because I did that for a long time. It's just dismissing, oh, that's just this, or it's just that, and it's just this symptom, I'll get through it. And kind of like you said, you're pull yourself up and I'll be fine. That's just kind of, which we don't have to do that. We just don't have to do that. And so I think reaching out to others and friends in a safe space that you feel comfortable with. I went in with the mindset of going to see a healthcare provider to see if I could get answers, and knowing if I didn't get answers, I was going to go see someone else. And so just because I'd been reading so much that there's bound to be some help out there. And then having some conversations with my friends. And it was literally a friend of ours. We were leaving another event, and she kind of pulled us aside and said, what are you guys doing about this menopause, perimenopause thing? And I was like, wait, what? You are too? And she said, yes. And so it just kind of sparked more of a conversation. So I would say just seek out, ask for help, and then don't dismiss your own self and what you're feeling.
And I think that's what it is, because I want, in the closing remarks, I want each of you to give some support or to women. There's so many women that are out here figuring out this journey by themselves. And community to me means people of all races, backgrounds, ages that give support and knowledge to each other. And it can come from different places. So what would you say to a woman who feels like she just doesn't know what's happening and what to do and doesn't know where to go? Where's her first place to go in this season? I really feel like I'm somewhere else right now.
I'm definitely going to say go to the church.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm definitely going to say that because almost every church has women groups.
Yeah.
Has a women group, a woman's group. And so, and well, at our church for sure. And we talk about women issues all the time. And so, and we always started out with, what is it that you need to know? How are you feeling? And there's, I mean, it doesn't have, there's no agenda.
I love that.
I do too.
I love that.
So I'd say connect yourself to a church.
Yep.
Amen. I love that. And what about you, Miss Faith? What is your last moments, or what is something that's on your mind that you might want to say to community? Or
Yeah, I would say I would say sit with yourself, but not so much that you're thinking about like, oh, I gotta think about these things. Sit in the space where you feel, whether it's God, Yahweh, whoever your spirit is, spirit, universe, whatever you believe in. Sit and figure out who that is and what they're telling you. But also journal. Journal your feelings. Journal what's happening. What not only what you're thinking, because your mindset can tell you
all kinds of things,
right? And negative things. Just try to like, what's your body doing right now? What are you feeling? Because when you document it, it can be in a journal, it can be in your voice notes. You can say, wow, I'm feeling like I got a headache today. Just record it somehow. Because that's really going to help you when you go see whoever you're talking to. This is what I've been feeling for the last 3 months. Here's all my notes. And I need something, or whatever, however long it's been. I need something. I need someone to talk to.
And because forgetting is part of it, we better
Absolutely.
write it down, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Yes.
I love that.
And remember where you put it.
Don't put passwords on it, or if you're gonna put a password on it, write it down somewhere on a piece of paper.
I love that.
Yeah,
Robin,
that's
what,
great.
what would you say to our community of people regarding this, or people that are in support of other people as we close out?
Yeah, I would say too, like it's really sitting with yourself and being able to understand what you are kind of going through. But I think part of that is not dismissing yourself and trusting yourself. What I'm experiencing is real. This is something that's happening, and it's okay. And for part of me was a lot of it is trusting myself that this is what I'm experiencing. Yes, it must be perimenopause, and even though I didn't want to admit it to myself, but I think that's a big piece of it, is being able to then do something with it. Then, like you said, writing it down, journaling, making sure what you're tracking, so you have information to go into somebody. But I think it's trusting yourself as a big component of that, and being empowered then to go seek and get some help.
Do you think that a second opinion is necessary if how you feel isn't being attended to or heard?
I would say so. I would say if you're not feeling that you're being heard, or you're being dismissed by your provider, it's okay to go ask someone else. It's okay, and I think we don't do that probably enough at times as well. So I definitely, just to make sure you are being heard and that you are getting the information that you should be getting. Absolutely.
Awesome. Can you all scoot together or a photo?
Scoot, scoot.
Yeah. I'm turning off the video.
Oldest here. And I've learned so much from you ladies today.
I'm a sympathy crier, so people cry, I cry.
Are you okay?
It's okay. Let it be all.
Oh, I am.
When it needs to come, it
I
comes.
am, because I know for a fact, no doubt in my mind, that this was God orchestrated. I know it was.